There are times where we may find it very challenging to take a certain mitzvah from the Torah and apply it to our lives today, because the circumstances for that particular mitzvah may be very different and not even relevant for me personally. For example, toward the end of Parshas Emor, the Torah speaks about harvesting a field. And the Torah says that a farmer should leave off the peah, the corner of the field, as well as any gleanings that one left when harvesting the field. Le'ani v'lager ta'azov. We should leave it for the ani, for the poor person, v'lager, and for the stranger, for the person who is a foreigner, a person who has no family. Obviously, this is a mitzvah to care for others. So while we, practically speaking, may not have a farm, and we're not harvesting the field, we're not farmers, but we can understand that the Torah is trying to tell us that we should care about those who are less fortunate. And when we gather our produce, when we earn, we should be generous in making sure that we take care of those who don't have. But there's something strange within the directive. And that is, if the Torah's entire purpose was for us to take care of those who are less fortunate, those who don't have, then why didn't the Torah tell the farmer, when you finish processing your product that you make from harvesting your field, make sure that you give that product to the poor and the stranger among you, those who are less fortunate? Why would the Torah tell us to leave the corner and to leave the gleanings, which is really raw product, for then the poor person and the foreigner to take the raw product and have to go through the process of making that raw product into a finished product? Why not just give him a couple of loaves of bread that the farmer produced, and then those people will be happy? So Rav Aaron Bakst, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, has a beautiful suggestion, which really gives us some insight into the way we think, and I think it's for all of us at some point in our lives. And he says, what the Torah is really telling us is that this is more than just simply money. It's more than just a thought. If the Torah had commanded the farmer to give the finished product, a couple of loaves of bread, to the poor person and to the ger and to the foreigner, then they would have been appreciative, but they would still remain where they were, downtrodden, with very little self-confidence, feeling very sad about their future. But instead, the Torah says, leave it for them as the raw product and let them process and make it into something. Let them have a feeling of accomplishment, that they did something productive. And with that, perhaps, they'll bring up their spirits and look toward a bright future. So it's not simply about giving them the finished product, but it's giving them the tools to feel differently about themselves in the present and about themselves in the future. And so how important it is for us to think about that when it comes to other people, even when we give tzedakah, to be able to help someone think differently about themselves, to be able to take someone who seems to look down and try to lift them up with the words that we can share with them. But there's one other part. We all individually tend to struggle over the course of life with moments in which we are feeling great and sometimes moments when we are feeling a little bit down. And the Torah is telling us, when we are in those moments, when we're in that rut, when we're in that difficult place, pick ourselves up by finding something in which we can give ourselves a sense of accomplishment. And just by feeling that we did something even as small as can be, the feeling of accomplishing can really lift our spirits and make us feel confident not only about today, but also about tomorrow. So from a mitzvah that seems to be irrelevant to us today, we find strength for those moments in which we face the challenges of the ups and downs of life. May Hashem give us the strength that when we are in those struggling moments, we feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of growth, and from there, the strength to move forward and look to a brighter future, a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.